Matt, so in your experience in the league, what's the difference between a really good defense and like the cream of the crop? Is it consistency? Is it takeaways? Is it kind of being able to take over a game? Like, there's that little area. What's the difference?
Yeah, I would say that it's having the elite players at the right spots, and then the execution behind that. Because I don't think you could have an elite defense without having elite players.
So on your defense, those spots are
It's always the three tech, the will, and the nickel. Those are the three spots.
your best players.
Yeah, so I think that you have to have that, and then you have to have execution behind that, and then you have to have the consistency of execution, and then the effort, which does a lot of good things for a defense. You know, the effort is decreases big plays, creates takeaways, gets you off on situational football. So I would say those three things really.
Hey, Matt, when you look at what's it like going against your offense? I know once you guys get in regular season mode, you won't be facing the ones and stuff.
Yeah.
What's it like going against them in training camp? Because I asked Darius about it last week. You guys have a very good offensive line.
Yeah.
A lot of running backs, a quarterback who was an MVP candidate several years ago. What do they do to how do they make you guys better?
Yeah, I would say the matchups. You know, the one-on-one matchups are really what we covet because, in the NFL, everybody runs a lot of the same plays. You get a lot of the same schemes, a lot of the same plays. Way different in college. You get a lot of variation, but I would say the matchups are what counts because you get matchups with the running backs and linebackers. We get the matchups with our receivers. I think that's really big, and then the tight ends, and being able to change those over and mix and match those, I think that's helpful to our guys.
And then when you look at it, some defenses may be known for they're stingy against the pass, or
Yeah.
they're great against the run. It seems like facing an offense like that can help you guys be more of a well-rounded unit, and not just keying on one strong suit.
Yeah, I mean, to be a good defense, you're going to have to be good at both. Run, pass, and situations, and I think our offense stresses you out that way. They really do a great job of using the whole. The width of the field, our offense does, and I think that really creates, matchup issues. And you got to have space players, and that's what we have. We have a lot of space players that can cover a lot of ground, so that helps us out.
Matt, has Rocky Sin done enough to earn the third quarterback job?
We're still talking about where we are in terms of day one, game one, who's where and who's what. So we really haven't finalized that. I do know that he had a good camp. He had a good camp, and we like where he is, and he's continuing to work. So we like where he is right now.
Was it a little different preseason where you had a lot of players that didn't play much? Darius at all. I don't think Tyquan played.
Right.
Xavier and Buck played like 3 plays or whatever.
Right.
Does that make you more anxious, or can you get enough done in practice?
I think from last year, because of what happened last year, I think we're more comfortable with that now. Because of the whole situation. We had no preseason games. We had a lot of inter-squad type of scrimmages, a lot of good-on-good type of plays for training camp. So we had a lot of that again this year, and so I think we're pretty comfortable where we are.
From a coaching standpoint, though, not ideal. Ideally, would you like?
Well, I mean, yeah, I want them to play 4 games before they play a real game, but I don't think that's feasible. But yeah, I think we're pretty comfortable.
What have you seen out of? We haven't asked you a lot about the rookie Sean Davis. In camp so far.
Yeah, I mean, he was injured.
Yeah.
I think that hurt him a little bit. He's learning our way, how to do things. I think that takes time. In terms of our hustle and our intensity and taking it away and being smart, those things that we covet. So he's a work in progress, and he's working that way.
How difficult did the defensive line make the decisions there? It just felt like you guys had a lot of guys that flashed at one point or the other in camp.
Yeah.
A lot of guys who made a good case.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to look at the whole body of work because, if you look at individual players, some guys started off, then they got injured, then they were out, so it's an individual base, but I also think that you got to look at the whole body of work of each player. And we're going back and watching tape again of all the game clips of, we have a question mark about this guy or that guy. I went back this morning, looked at a couple, over 125 plays of game reps of each guy to make sure, we're on the same page. So I think that's just what we do this time of year.
Will you rely on, games from, you've seen him play last year, say, or 2 years before, we say we saw him do this, maybe it hasn't been as great in camp or preseason, but we know he's done this in the past?
Yeah. Yeah, you certainly rely on past experiences of what a guy has done for sure.
Did you see Bannigan sort of carry it through camp?
Yeah, I thought he did well. I thought Bannigan did well. You know, it's hard to play really good the whole camp. You know, it just is because it's a long camp. You know, and I thought he was pretty consistent all the way through, and I thought he did a nice job in terms of consistency. Yep.
What about Grover with just his growth over the course of training camp?
Yeah, Grover's always there. He's always there, and I mean that in a great way. So he's always going to hustle. He's always going to play great technique. He's always going to have a great energy and a mindset in the middle there. And his camp was really good.
And when you have a guy who can kind of anchor things down in the spot that he's at, what does that allow you to do as a coordinator?
Well, it's just, you know, the middle of your defense. I think you always got to be strong up the middle. So that's your number one priority, strong up the middle. And I think with Grover and Buckner in there, with Darius inside there, and then our safeties, I think we're in good shape.
Matt, what's the next step for DeForest, if there is a next step from what he did last year? Like, how can he be better?
Yeah, I just think you see his leadership, you know, because the players have been around him for the entire time now, and I think his growth as a leader is really stepping up. I can feel it in the whole group in the defensive line room, and I think that's where he'll make he'll be impactful that way.
Was he kind of feeling his way last year as a leader? This is new, obviously.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's natural for anybody to do that. You know, the first year you're kind of feeling out the group and what the culture is here and where he is, and I think this year two is going to be just another big step for him.
Also on the field, I mean, you see there's still more. He's still a young player from him.
Yeah, no doubt. He's played a lot of snaps. I mean, you know, Buck's played a lot of snaps. You know, 85-90% over his career, and which is astounding. But he's a special person.